Do you like Hollow Knight? Do you like momentum classic Sonic games? Do you like shonen-style kick-ass action? Then you are in luck. My friend and I are working hard to create an experience that will have you engulfed within a vast world, interconnected with lore and story, as well as speedy action challenges where you will navigate stages and environments, platforming, and reacting to obstacles. Then, to tie it all off, have huge boss fights with music you can't help but headbang to. There's always been something about those crazy anime fights. You just want to feel like you are doing that. The artist speaking. Ever since I was a child, I loved playing classic Sonic games, and later on I discovered Hollow Knight. I was always disappointed by the lack of freedom in the Sonic games, with them being more linear. I was also disappointed with the lack of speed for platforming challenges in Hollow Knight. I remember a few years back I would play Sonic Adventure 2 over and over again. At some point I had just explored everything that there was to see in the stages. I wish that fluid momentum movement could be implemented in a place that was more vast, where you would have a bigger playground. The programmer speaking. If you ask me why I'm making this game, well, it's actually because I just want to make something fun, something amazing. For a long time, I've either been working on small projects and game jams, or just giving up projects and moving on to a new one. I want to capture the joy that games bring. You know, the amazing feeling of awe when you defeat a Dark Souls boss after so many tries. I crave more of that. And can you imagine the power I have if I can actually recreate that feeling? Obviously, being the developer, I may not have the most fun, given that I already know how the game works and the enemy patterns, but it would be amazing to create such a thing in general. Now, to get everyone up to speed as to what we mean by combining all these things and making something new, we need to understand what made games like Hollow Knight and Sonic Mania so great. In games like Sonic 1, 2, and 3 for the Sega Genesis, and later on Sonic Mania, which in my opinion perfected the formula, so I will take it as an example. The movement was dynamic, meaning when you go downhill, you would gain speed like a tire going down a road. The same concept goes for going uphill. You go slower, and if you don't have enough speed, you actually start sliding down the slope. This made for unique platforming challenges where the challenge is to carry this momentum so you can go as fast as possible to the end of the stage. It's extremely fun to speed through the stages and environments once you get to know them. However, a downside is that once you do blast through them a few times, you only really take one route and never really take time to explore the place. Another game that I mentioned which inspired us is Hollow Knight. I love the way you get dropped into a world and the developers just take you on an adventure with a story you have to piece together yourself. You become attached to the world. We want to have a similar thing to that. Hollow Knight indirectly also takes a lot of inspiration from Dark Souls, and as I, the programmer, already mentioned, I love the Soulsborne game so much. It's pretty clear our game is going to take inspiration from it as well. One of my favorite concepts is the bonfire. The bonfire is where the player rests and restores their health and status. This is also where they restore their Estus flasks, which is what you use to heal in the game. It indirectly means that you literally heal yourself with fire, which is just amazing. So here's our solution. Here's our main character, Miru. This little fella is a speedy cat. She will run on slopes and platforms, gain momentum, and do all kinds of acrobatic moves in a Metroidvania sort of world. Once you get familiar with the places you are exploring, the act of going fast from location to location becomes easier. There will be time trials scattered around and special portals to other dimensions with level-to-level gameplay that will make use of Miru's speediness. There will also be little checkpoints scattered across the world where you can heal and perhaps buy upgrades. The story vaguely is that Miru finds herself in a desolate place. However, she has lost her memories. She needs to go and find relics of the past and not only find out what happened, but save others and maybe even herself. I find that this sort of vague storytelling makes for more interest in the environments and NPCs because they tell the story in bits and pieces, and you have to figure out how it all relates together, just like in Hollow Knight and Dark Souls. Our plan currently is to get a basic outline of the game. Currently, we're just sticking to a smaller, more polished demo. It will mainly be gameplay focused and just include the minimum viable product, as we call it. We will include a place that has a purple-pink sky with northern lights and stars, with prehistoric rocks and a grassy biome where an ancient civilization used to live. We also intend to create an additional place with infected greenery, painting it in a sort of red-orange. It also has lush waterfalls and water creatures to suit. Currently, what you see in the background is what we have. It's a bit barren and kind of wonky in a few places, but of course it's an alpha version and will improve over time. Lastly, we are intending to call this game Cython Cat, and we want to finish making the demo within a few months. Regardless, thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you want to follow us and the development of our game, and have yourself a great day.